$50 million, that's the reward the United States put on Nicolas Maduro's head. The exact same amount they offered for Osama bin Laden before killing him. No, this isn't a coincidence. It's a sign Donald Trump has already decided Venezuela's fate. Because when the United States puts that price on your head, it means only one thing: you're marked for death. Do you think international laws are going to stop them? Fool. They already did it with Noriega in Panama. They already did it with bin Laden. And now the plan to invade Venezuela is underway. Stay until the end, because I'm going to reveal the classified documents that confirm the exact date of the invasion, the complete military plan. And why? Does Maduro already know that his days are numbered? I am El Documentalista and this is CIA files Donald Trump and the invasion of Venezuela. $50 million for Maduro's head is a clear message. The United States doesn't offer that much for tips leading to his arrest. Why do they need information if everyone knows exactly where he is? Those $50 million are a message from Trump to the Venezuelan generals. And a very clear one. If you cooperate with us once the United States Army invades, we'll only take Maduro and the reward will be yours. But if you resist, well, we'll kill all of you. A symbolic reward, but a practical one. It's no longer just about financial sanctions, but about making the Venezuelan state's leader a target for elimination. And some people think that the United States can't do it, because they argue that American and international laws prevent Venezuela from being invaded. Please remember, pay attention to history. Donald Trump recently included the Cartel of the Suns on the list of terrorist organizations linked to Nicolas Maduro's regime. Yes, and in addition, the President of the United States signed executive orders giving directives to the armed forces, ordering the Pentagon to prepare military options to confront drug cartels designated as terrorist organizations. Another coincidence? Of course not. In these spheres of power, coincidences don't exist. So, they're accusing Maduro of drug trafficking, money laundering, and corruption, putting the lives of American citizens at risk. And that's an exact copy of what they did with the dictator of Panama in 1989. For those who forgot, for those not yet born, let me remind you that in the early morning of December 20th, 1989, 27,000 American soldiers stormed into Panama to capture one man, Manuel Antonio Noriega, head of the defense forces and accused by United States courts of drug trafficking, money laundering, and corruption. The stated reason was to protect Americans and restore democracy. The real objective was to sweep away a former ally who had fallen from grace and secure strategic control of the Panama Canal. To Noriega, he wasn't executed due to his past as a CIA informant, but he died in prison in 2017 at age 83. Let's be clear, Maduro is a top priority target for the United States, and planning tasks are increasing rapidly. Secret options and consultations with regional partners that fuel the feeling that an invasion might be taking shape, even when the letter of the law does not authorize it. Remember, international laws are made by the powerful, but not to be applied to them. And according to internal sources and expert articles, this is how the military operation to eliminate Nicolas Maduro would be: invade Venezuela. The plan began in a windowless room at the Pentagon. The men in suits were articulating legal justifications to legitimize the invasion, or at least to make it look good to the press. They claim Maduro makes fentanyl, works with terrorist cartels, and threatens the homeland. That's more than enough. The official narrative will later be a sequence of technical phrases. The truth, whispered quietly, was simple and far more deadly. Venezuela isn't just a dictatorship. It's an armed narco-state, with Maduro as its most wanted criminal. They'll use Panama as a logistics hub for the invasion because it's ideal. An isthmus, canals, private ports, airports with discretionary hangars, and a network of companies used to hide contracts and movements. From there, discreet reconnaissance flights will be coordinated, supply of equipment not attributed to the United States, and the use of private bases for the rotation of forces. The public justifications for an operation against Maduro still fit easily. The exponential increase in deaths from fentanyl, the designation of criminal networks with transnational ties, the multi-million-dollar reward for the head of the Venezuelan leader. Everything is already set to begin the neutralization operations, which will be carried out in layers. First layer, justify international access to airspace and facilities via private contracts. Through intelligence agreements and joint missions with countries concerned about drug trafficking. Second layer, use the terrorist threat label to clear legal barriers and activate military and intelligence tools against targeted organizations. Third layer, create information channels to legitimize moves in public opinion. Leak carefully selected photos and statistics to produce a narrative. The United States is acting to protect public order and health security. Fourth layer, invasion. To cut off the power of the Chavista regime at its root. The final excuse would be a limited operation, surgical raids to capture key figures of the criminal network. A lightning operation that would officially be described as targeting trafficking networks and not the structure of the state. Just like in '89, but now it's 2025 and the setting is Caracas. The target is Nicolas Maduro Moros, Venezuela's de facto president, accused by the United States Department of Justice of leading the cartel of the Suns. An alleged trafficking network with ties to the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. Before the first American soldier sets foot on Venezuelan soil, the invisible war has already begun. National Security Agency hackers penetrate Venezuelan Ministry of Defense networks, blocking transfers and creating logistical chaos. Unmanned drones fly over bases in Fuerte, Tiuna, Macaray, and Pueblo Cabello, mapping every armored vehicle and every active radar. Infiltrated agents, supposedly Chavista deserters, sabotage generators and fuel systems in strategic facilities. Then the real invasion will begin. At 0200 hours, the sky over Caracas will light up. Precision strikes will destroy anti-aircraft batteries in Maracay, Barcelona, and La Guaira. The missiles will hit within seconds of each other, just like in Panama, when 16 barracks and 4 airports were disabled in the first hour. Simultaneously, paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division will land at Maiquetía Airport, securing the runway for the arrival of more troops. From the eastern coast, speedboats with Navy SEALs will neutralize weapons depots in Puerto de la Cruz. The White House message will match Bush's. Father? In 1989, Trump will say, "This action is necessary to safeguard American lives, stop drug trafficking, and restore democracy in Venezuela." Meanwhile, in 1989, Noriega hid in the Apostolic Nunciature. Maduro will try to take refuge in a military complex inside Fuerte Tiuna, surrounded by loyal members of the Presidential Honor Guard. United States intelligence, fed by defectors and satellite technology, will intercept communications that reveal his exact location. Delta Force teams, wearing balaclavas and night vision goggles, will move in for the final assault. No resistance outside. The $50 million reward and the promise of not facing charges and keeping privileges have already bent the will of the generals. Then Delta Force enters, blasting doors with small explosives. As with Osama bin Laden in 2011, gunshots echo through the night. The operation will be quick, broadcast on tape delay and sold as a surgical strike. Hours later, the United States Department of Justice will make a live announcement. The dictator, Maduro, has been shot twice after resisting arrest with armed force against our troops who were trying to detain him and transfer him to the United States to face narco-terrorism charges. The main collaborators are under arrest. The people of Venezuela are free, and thousands of American lives have been saved. In under 72 hours, the main cities and refineries will be under foreign control. A Democratic Transition Council will be installed, headed by opposition figures aligned with Washington. North American and European oil companies will begin signing exploitation and reconstruction contracts. International television will portray this as a story of liberation and hope. On Caracas streets, some neighborhoods will have applause and flags, while others face barricades and looting. As in Panama, the military phase will be brief, but the foreign presence will remain for years. And just like in 1989, the message to other troublesome leaders will be clear. If we can come in, we can stay. Thousands of Venezuelan expatriates, forced to leave their country due to hunger or persecution, will celebrate and prepare to reunite with their families. The era of Maduro will have come to an end. But not everything will be joy. Colombia and Mexico will look at each other warily if there are no international sanctions for this invasion, if there are no criminal charges for Donald Trump, and China and Russia only raise minor complaints but continue with other matters. They will wonder, how long will it take the American president to point to his next target? Is Trump the new emperor of this part of the world? I want to read your comments. I'm El Documentalista, and that was it. Donald Trump plans to invade Venezuela.